quite astonishing. How long can we continue at this pace?
Yeah, they were very good numbers reported this month. I don't think we should have been terribly surprised given the demand that we've seen and the limited inventory that Diana spoke of. There's a number of different reasons I think we're continuing to see this success. But if you go back to pre-COVID, there were a lot of things working in our favor from a macro standpoint. And many of those still are. The very favorable demographics, when we look at the millennials and the boomers, when you look at interest rates at historic lows right now. And as Diana mentioned, this record low inventory in both new and resale is certainly working in our favor.
No, I totally get that. But clearly the economy is very, very weak and unemployment is very, very high. So I guess the question is just whether things have run too far too fast. And I've got a chart here of the price of lumber, which I guess is an indication of how quickly the housing market has spiked. I mean, do you not get worried things have run too quickly? And also, is this spike in the lumber price something that's a big concern for you?
Yeah, so the lumber price absolutely has been at a peak, but we're starting to see a little relief. So as we look at kind of 12-week running prices, I think we'll begin to see that teeter down, but certainly it's disturbing. When I look at the total demand and I look at the demographics, I think we need to be very mindful of affordability, and certainly job formation has always been key to the home building industry. And if you look at the jobs, no jobs lost are good, but if you look at the jobs to date, they've generally not been homeowners. Now, I think as we look forward, we have to be very mindful of that. But I continue to believe that the pent up and the fact that we had been underbuilding for so many years is part of what we're addressing right now.
Cheryl, Taylor Morrison has a unique vantage point into the housing economy because you have a lot of lots in the western part of the United States, and you have a perspective on Arizona, which has thankfully seen a decline in cases, but was one of the hot spots earlier this summer. So can you walk us through the different geographies that you see and whether this rise in the housing market has been universal across the board or whether this is geographically a little more nuanced?
No, very good question. It's been generally pretty universal, not just across all geographies, but really across all consumer sets. So Arizona, I would have to say, has been one of the healthiest markets across the country, certainly in our portfolio as well. We've seen demand at a level we've never seen before. And, what happened through this surge is we had to communicate with our customers differently. I would tell you that we had to imagine the journey in a way that they wanted to communicate with us. So even though the people might not have been coming out quite as much, they had the ability to work with us in a virtual environment. They've been setting up virtual tours. We have, I think last quarter, we reported that we did something like 2.5 sales a day completely virtually. So even with the spike that we saw in June and July, and to your point, Sarah, it's come down. We've seen some relief every day for like the last 15, 20 days.
Would people actually close on a house purely by virtual tours, or would the virtual tour just get them interested before an actual visit?
It's a great question, but it's been quite remarkable. I don't think that we could have imagined, 12 months ago that we would do this level of virtual business. But no, we actually have a number of folks that start the process that we may have never even seen pre-COVID that have come into our environment on our website. Then they have scheduled either a virtual tour on their own that they can do at home, or they have the ability to do an on-site tour of one of our inventory homes on their own time. It can be early in the morning, in the evenings. After they've completed that, they then have the ability to go in and do a reservation online. If they would like, we can continue the process online. We can do a virtual contract. Many of them, after they've created the appointment or the 24-hour reservation, they choose to come, to the community and do the contract, but not all of them. It's quite stunning. It's really wonderful to see. I think this will be forever changed as we look forward in this industry.